What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. I've been talking about this for about the last week. We're finally doing this fun interview with with a master mason himself, who also happens to be my father. He's the 32nd degree, 33 degrees in masonry, yada yada. We've all seen the we've all seen the theories, this, that, and the third. But I'm just gonna get us into our podcast, and so to start off, I mean, first and foremost, Dad, how are you? Oh, okay. Someone just redeemed something. Hi, Puzzled. All right. So dead. Um. Well, good. I mean,
What
you're
just
dead.
happened?
So someone redeemed a. So you remember the episode of SpongeBob with the when with the SpongeBob rave? You know, the jellyfish party and everything.
Yeah.
I have that as a soundbite on that people can redeem on my stream. Man, there it is again. All right. So, um,
I'll bet it's Mason that keeps doing that. That way we don't reveal any secrets.
oh, it's actually puzzled my friend from Scotland, and I love John Deere tractors. He's always here. John Deere's a regular. Um, so
A regular.
yeah, he's a regular. Um, how are you doing though? You know, before we get into anything, you having a good day, Dad?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Okay, okay.
How are you doing?
Oh, you know, I'm doing good too. Um, well, honestly, oh yeah, John Deere, you're on a 28-day streak. Yeah, see, he's a regular. He's almost watched for a month straight.
Hey, did you know that if I go into my toolbar at the bottom, I don't even have to bring up Discord. It just brings up a little panel that I can hit mute when I have to cough or something.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sorry, I'm sure that's exciting for everybody who's listening.
Oh, you're good. You're good. All right. So, just to, I mean, honestly, dive right into it. You know, with a lot of people that tune into a lot of my podcasts know that I talk about history a lot when I'm talking about whether it's theories or things like that. So, let's just start with, I think, the most important part to set the stage. I mean, the history of things. And so, that being said, theory number one. You know, you got internet sleuths and different books like the Haram Key that claim Freemasonry is, you know, directly a continuation of the Knights Templar. Um, you know, after they were disbanded, after they were excommunicated, the surviving Templars went underground, and whether they traded esoteric knowledge or it was a means for survival, that's what formed the Masonic lodges afterwards. Um,
You mean when they you mean when they were slaughtered and they escaped, some escaped with their lives
yes,
and sailed around to the British Isles? Is that what you're referring to?
exactly. Um,
Okay.
so, I mean, so the theory, though, you know, it dates that or states that surviving Templars smuggled sacred geometry, you know, esoteric knowledge into Scotland, Britain, and to form secret societies. Um, you know, um, what's said in textbooks historically, what's always said is stonemasons, cathedrals, and the transition into speculative lodges during the Enlightenment. Um, well, it's not as it's so sorry. Um, so yeah, I mean it's not said in textbooks per se as much as it is said in history that that's how they kind of stonemasons became the masons and everything. Not much of a direct tie to the Knights Templar, but I mean, I think that there's a lot to be said. We've talked about it. I've talked about it actually on a couple different streams. Um, one when I was talking about uh, basically, fabrication of the last 2,000 years, blah blah blah, about the Templars and their connections to Freemasonry. What do you think about that? Do you think that that's plausible?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is you kind of have to rewind and go back a little bit further to recognize what the job was of the Templars when they originally went to what is now uh, the Middle East there, um, and they dug underneath King Solomon's temple. Um, there is all kind of theories, all kind of speculation about what they discovered under there, all kind of jewels, all kind of treasure, all kind of whatever. And then the key though is when they left and they went back to establish themselves in Europe, they had changed. Let's just say they weren't as devout with the church as they were when they went. You know, their original job was to escort pilgrims to the Holy Land so they could get there safely. And then when they had their contingent there in the Holy Land is when they did their exploration underneath King Solomon's temple. Now, this is all just historical. This has, nothing to do with Masonic lore or anything per se up to this point. But then when they got back into mainstream Europe is when they were accused of all kind of things because they became very powerful. They were literally the first bankers in the world because people could travel and deposit money with a consistory in one European country and get a note and then go to another European country and withdraw their money. So the Templars had all kind of crap going on, whether it was banking. So the
Coincidence?
power
I
that they were
think not.
accumulating was becoming threatening, not only to monarchies across Europe, but to the papacy. You know what I'm saying? And so now they come back, and Pope Clement and King Philip the Fair decided that their wealth would be better served to be confiscated. And so the Pope decided to disband them and to excommunicate them because there were all these rumors about different rituals, different things they were doing. And so it was convenient because France was still in a whole lot of debt because of their constant warring with Great Britain, with England. And so it was a win-win for the king and for the Pope to pretty much cut off the Templars, take their wealth, accuse them of all kind of things, execute them, and everything else. So there's a contingent of them that got a heads up what was going down on October the 13th, Friday the 13th, and they kind of got their crap together and hightailed it out of there and sailed around to the British Isle. Okay, so there's all kind of theories about where they went, what they did. I believe, and this is really unfounded, except just some research and reading. It's nothing that was bestowed upon me when I reached a certain degree in Freemasonry, any crap like that. But just doing research and just looking at similarities and rituals and things like I think that most of the treasure, if you will, that they found was more in the realm of how to communicate with their creator, how to quite frankly, you can have a relationship with the divine without having to use an intermediary like a priest or a pope or this. And they learned so many ways to connect. And that's what they took with them. That's what they felt was the valuables, I feel. And I think that if nothing else, if anything was passed down, if anything, it may have been elements of the rituals and means of recognition, things like because there is no question that in the Middle Ages, if you were a stonemason or you were any skilled tradesman, you had to be able to identify yourself as such when you traveled from town to town, country to country. So that was why the means of recognition were so important. So that way you could tell somebody um, in a different town that yes, I'm a master mason. I'm a master of this job site of these stonemasons, and you could identify yourself with a word, with a grip, or and I think that the elements of that once masonry became more of a fraternity than it was an actual um, labor union, if you will. Those were the things that were kind of adopted, and I, in that regard, I can see there being a direct tie to the Templars and to ancient Masons and things like that. Not that Knights Templar invented the Masons to carry on their um,
Legacy.
their mission. You know what I mean? I don't see it as being as direct and sinister as that.
Okay. Chat says it's a disguise.
It's a disguise, yeah. Dude, if you've ever been in a lodge room, trust me, um, there is uh, there is no resemblance whatsoever between a medieval knight and and a middle-aged fat dude just getting done eating a spaghetti dinner.
In- Indiana Jones in disguise? Excuse me. False. All right. Um. Well, I mean, before we move on to the next topic, I mean, I think just a real quick. I mean, anybody have like valid? I mean, kind of interesting questions that to be asked because there's a lot of knowledge here. I know some people who talk to me a bit more. I mean, knows how I believe in a spirituality in a spiritual type way, and it was a bit
Hey,
interesting to me
Dylan,
hearing.
can I ask you a technical question? I'm getting a little bit of a feedback. I'll say something and like 3 seconds later, I'll hear what I just said. It's a little distracting.
Um. Um. Do you have the stream itself muted?
Shit, dude, I don't know. How do I do that?
So on the stream,
Ah,
just
wait,
click the little mute button.
I think I did it. Yay!
Okay.
Yep, got it. Thanks.
So Spain was stealing from the Master Masons or cut them off completely and just took everything for themselves. That would have been the Knights Templar, not the Master Masons, but or the Pope or King. That's what they're asking.
Yeah, it was King Philip the Fair from France and Pope Clement the Fifth.
Hi, Satman. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Did that fix your feedback though? You're not hearing that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that anymore. So now I can concentrate. It was
So
making it
okay,
hard for
I
me
get
to
it.
complete sentences when I was talking and I was hearing what I had just said.
No, I get it. I get it.
What did the Master Masons do if there was anything they could have done? What did the Master
I
Masons
think
do if there
I
was?
think Stampy, the distinguishing. So back then, this was before the Masons. This was before they kind of disbanded, and there was according to my dad's opinion, a sect of them that um, decided to you know, do their own thing and become Masons. So the period
Well,
with the Pope and everything. Sorry.
here's the thing, though. You had things going on simultaneously. You had stonemasons and that at work doing their thing when you had Templars that were still a force in Europe. But now when they were disbanded and excommunicated, and they had to flee, and they sailed around to the British Isles to where it's it's Scotland now. Well, it was Scotland then too, but I mean, and they kind of hid out. They had to work, they had to do something. So I mean, perhaps, I mean, I don't know, I don't have any proof of this, but perhaps they were skilled. I mean, they were obviously tough, and they were you know brawny dudes. I mean, that they had to do. Maybe they went into the trades. Maybe they brought some of their esoteric knowledge with them, and maybe they devised ways of recognition. You know, none of us were alive then. None of us know how or why different rituals kind of mirror things that they may have discovered. But at the same time, it's like I think it's a stretch to just think that one day they were Knights Templar, the next day they decided to sneak around into little lodge rooms and become Masons. I think that the existence of stonemasons at the time was a convenient transition, but at the same time, I think that a lot of the ritual was probably passed down that they had discovered in the archives underneath King Solomon's temple, which I think is part of what got them in trouble with the powers that be to begin with, and it has become the basis for a lot of the um, well, I don't want to say the basis as much as it's the current Masonic ritual. You know, there's a lot drawn from the the same type of texts. You know, because the um, most Masonic ritual is Old Testament in nature. So I guess it's not that big of a stretch to think that whatever the Templars discovered would have had to have been Old Testament in nature, because King Solomon's time, um, you know, there wouldn't have been a New Testament. There wouldn't have been any, you know, any recordings of the events that occurred after the birth of Christ, because it was King Solomon's temple. It was the stuff under King Solomon's temple. So I guess you could make a loose tie to things that they discovered that was more Old Testament in nature and esoteric in nature. Don't forget that um, Egyptian rituals played a big part, because as things were being collected and documented and stowed away, you know, there was a lot of influences that were all part of that. So, you know, in modern Masonic ritual, you know, you can see some loose ties um, to Egyptian uh, symbology. You can see a lot of Egyptian, I would say, Gnostic, and a lot of the allegories are rooted in the Old Testament. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I have a hard time, and you know me, and you know I've done a lot of in-depth research. I've done a lot of study, and I do not see a direct link between the Knights Templar and modern Freemasonry. You know, not to say that there wasn't a conduit at some point or some form of a tie, but you know, anybody who's a Mason now and wants to puff out their chest, you know, we're direct descendants of Templars. They're just doing that because I don't know, they can't afford a Lamborghini. I don't know.
Tup, tup. Um, Last thing that Stampy had asked here. Um, I don't necessarily know what you mean by that. Do you think it was passed down a line or something? What, like the, oh, like, I mean, well, I mean, I feel like, what do you mean by,
Well, I can tell you without revealing any secrets of a Master Mason, I can tell you that up until the 1970s, 1980s, late 70s, all Masonic ritual, all Masonic um, ceremonies were passed down mouth to ear. So, I mean, it's very possible that the modern iteration, let's just take it to the ridiculous conclusion that modern Masonry is a direct descendant of Templar rituals back, you know, when they were roaming the earth. Um, it would have naturally been passed mouth to ear to those who were in the know. You know, now I believe that um, you know, somehow from the um, you know, early part of what would that, the 14th century, 13th century, that you know, rituals and things that occurred then were passed down to you know, and that you know, we learned the same things because it was passed down mouth to ear. No, but there's a strong likelihood that the substance of some of the degree work, the allegories, and some of the degree work may have been tweaked a little bit to represent what somebody may have known 200 or 300 years ago. You know, we're really in the realm of speculation. But
Okay.
I can tell you unequivocally that when you become a master mason, when you're a third degree mason, or you go to Scottish Rite degrees and you become a 32nd degree, nobody takes you aside into a little cloakroom and starts revealing all these little secrets. I can promise you that.
Well, I guess that's a great transition into this here. So, the rumor is that the first and second degree Masons are just a charitable front, and the real dark secrets or hidden agendas are only revealed once you reach the third to 32nd degree, or the last degree being a 32nd, or I'm sorry, 33rd, where a lot of people say that, oh well, you don't know anything until then, and some more fringe theories. So, um, so, uh,
What do you want me?
n-
What part of that do you want me to answer?
I was gonna say, so, as a 32nd degree Master Mason, walk us through, if as too much as you can. What happens when you move past the Master Mason into into the Scottish Rite? Like, what is really being taught behind those doors? Obviously, what you're able to discuss without breaking any oaths or anything like that.
Yeah, I told you I'd have to kill you, but um, okay. Here's uh, bottom line truth. There is no degree that's higher than a third degree master mason. Okay, the first two degrees are just that. The first two degrees you get in a blue lodge. You go down, you drive down the street, you see a little lodge building there, and that's where your first three degrees are bestowed upon you. And you can't get the third degree, obviously, until you get the first and then the second. And it's a system that builds on itself. Okay, and after you go through the degree, then there's a catechism, if you will, that you have to learn as your first degree is your entered apprentice. As an entered apprentice, you have to learn your entered apprentice catechism before they will allow you to get your second degree. And the same is true before you get your third degree. Once you are raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason, that is the highest level of Mason you can ever be. Okay, all of the other degrees are just pretty much bestowed on you based on them being appendant bodies. You have the Scottish Rite, you have the York Rite, you have the Shriners. Okay, and then you have all kind of other little ancillary bodies too. But the big ones that everybody's heard of, I think anyway, are the Scottish Rite, the York Rite, and the Shriners. The only prerequisite for becoming any of those three is you have to be a Master Mason. You have to be a third degree Master Mason. Now, the Scottish Rite is unique in that you don't have to go through a degree per se, like you do in the other degrees. Now, each degree has its own ceremony, has its own ritual. But there's an exemplar. There's somebody who stands in. There's one person who goes through the degree, and because when you go to um, the annual in some cases, or the semi-annual twice a year. I know in Chicago, when I became a Scottish Rite Mason, they have them in the spring, they have them in the fall, and what you do, they put on, out of the 32 degrees, they may put on 6 of the degrees, because in the Scottish Rite there are um, four different sections, and each section has a series of degrees. And then the last section, the consistory, has the um, has it's more of a night theme, night, KNIGHT, not dark outside night. And so there's a few degrees, and then the 32nd degree is just that. It's just the last degree. And so every time you go to the Scottish Rite ceremonies, whether it's once a year or twice a year, every time you go, they do um, a degree or two from each of the other three, and then they always do one of the ones in the fourth section plus the 32nd, because when you leave there, you're a 32nd degree, whether or not you've seen all 32, or pardon me, all 29 degrees, because you got your first 3 degrees in the Blue Lodge. So whether or not you see all 29 or not, once you witness a 32nd degree, you're a 32nd degree Mason. So now Tell me, I mean, use your logical brain. If you're going to sit in an auditorium and you're going to watch a degree being performed, and you're going to watch maybe 6, 7, or 8 degrees in the course of a weekend, all right, are you really being bestowed all these secrets, all this stuff, when the degrees you get this spring aren't going to be the same degrees you get in the fall necessarily, except for getting the 32nd degree? Now, I will say most reunion, that's what they call them. They call them reunions, spring and fall reunion, or the once a year reunion, depending on the jurisdiction. Um, most of them every year they do the 4th degree. That's the first Scottish Rite degree, and then you know that you're going to get the 4th degree. You know you're going to get the 32nd, and then they give everybody now who's a Scottish Rite Mason, they give them a passport that has a little stamp in there. So when you go back to reunions, and you can even go in different to different jurisdictions. Not well, for example, like Wisconsin and Illinois are both in the Northern Masonic jurisdiction as far as the Scottish Rite is concerned.
Okay.
So, if let's say I got the 4th, the 7th, the 8th, the 10th, the 21st, and the 32nd this spring in Chicago. And let's say I find out that, at Wisconsin's reunion in the fall, they're going to be doing degrees that I hadn't seen. I can go up there and take my little passport, and after I see the degrees, they'll stamp it to show that your progress and degrees you've seen. So now, when you actually get it all filled up and you've seen all the degrees, you can turn it into your jurisdiction, and they will actually give you a certificate saying that you've seen, all the degrees in the Scottish Rite. Doesn't make you any more special. You just have this nice little certificate. Okay, now I've been a Scottish Rite Mason since 2006. Yeah, since 2006. And there's still 3 degrees in my passport that I haven't seen.
Oh, really?
You know, but that doesn't make me not a 32nd degree Mason, because the very first reunion I went to in the old Scottish Rite Temple on Dearborn in Chicago, the very first reunion I went to, I got my 32nd degree. So that makes me a 32nd degree Master Mason. But again, I want to reiterate that being a 32nd degree Master Mason doesn't make me any more of a Master Mason than a 3rd degree does, because it's the first 3 degrees where you're brought into Freemasonry that hold the most significance in terms of your standing in the fraternity. The Grand Master of the state of Illinois, for example, or the state of Tennessee, for example, he's got all power, all jurisdiction over any of the appendant bodies. Okay, so if, let's say, somebody who's in the line in the consistory at the Scottish Rite does something shady, you found out he did something shady, he is under the purview of the Grand Lodge of Illinois or the Grand Lodge of Tennessee, where he could be expelled or he could be suspended regardless of his standing in the appendant body.
Okay.
Just because, just because you're a 32nd degree Mason doesn't make you doesn't give you any more authority, doesn't give you any more power, any more knowledge, anything else than somebody who's a 3rd degree Master Mason. They derived all of these other degrees. Because one thing about Masons that is it just kind of goes hand in glove, is you have a percentage of Masons that show up once in a great while just to kind of hang out and have dinner and go up to the lodge room and then go home. But you've got a chunk of them who can't get enough of it. They want to join every appendant body, eventually get in a line in any appendant body so they can move up and they can, get more lapel pins and, get more ribbons and get more certificates and be able to, tell anybody who really gives a shit, look at me, I'm this. So you've got that group of people. And but none of them have any more sway, any more power within the fraternity, if you will, than the Grand Master of a particular state. They are the they're the authority of everything Masonic in that state. I don't know if that made any sense or if
No,
that
it
helped.
did. It did. So Chat had asked, so I think it speaks for itself, but does it matter what level of masonry you are in order to determine what you're told or what information you're given or allowed to be given?
No, no. In fact, I can tell you that um, you hear all about the 33rd degree Masons, and
Yeah, I was gonna. Is
and
that a
oh my,
thing?
no, it is a thing. But what it is it's an honor that's bestowed upon somebody who has served the fraternity and their community well for years. Okay. In fact, and typically, if you're in any of the four lines in Scottish Rite Masonry, and you make it to be you make it to the top of the line in those four bodies, typically you're going to end up getting the white hat. The white hat is symbolic of being a 33rd degree Mason. Um, and the only thing that's special about being a 33rd degree Mason is they have a whole special ceremony, a whole special degree. They gather, um, whether it's and sometimes it varies in terms of what city they do it in, and they all um, the 33rd is kind of a fraternity within the fraternity in that you have to you, you have to be a member of the Scottish Rite, and you have to be a Mason for quite a lot of years, and have been active in charitable endeavors, active in things in the community. You have to be a good man, a good Mason, and been very involved with the fraternity. So that's why I said, any of the guys in the four bodies within the Scottish Rite that end up making it to the top of that particular line, they usually end up becoming a 33rd because of all the years it takes to get there. Because you serve 2 years in each station, and if there's 8 stations before you get to the top of the line, that's 16 years that you have to be in that line and in that body. So I mean, that's a lot of time, a lot of devotion, a lot of dedication. Just like a lot of the things in within the Scottish Rite, like you've got a costume crew, you've got a makeup crew, you've got the lighting and the staging crew, you've got the hospitality crew, you got because all of those degrees are put on a stage. They're put on a stage, so it's a very theatrical production. So you've got all these crews, and people have become like the head of these crews and have put in 15, 20 years in these different crews. I mean, they've really dedicated themselves to the craft, to the Scottish Rite, and they end up usually getting a white hat. I don't know if you remember Bill Carlton. Bill Carlton and I mean, when I became a Mason, he was he was the junior warden in my lodge, and he and I hit it off. We're the same age. He was born in February. I was born in October, so we're the same age. And um, he and I got real close. And he's the one that kind of got me involved in Scottish Rite, got me involved in the York Rite, and the AMD, the Allied Masonic degrees. And just because it was, he was my age, so he was kind of cool to hang around with, and
Yeah, yeah.
I learned a lot. And he worked with me, and as I was learning ritual, and because my thing was, if I was going to be involved in something, I was going to be involved in it. I was going to be helpful. I was gonna put in some effort and some time so I could be a benefit. I could be an asset to my lodge. So I mean, he and I had spent hours, over pots of coffee, working on ritual and working on things, just so I could learn, so I could eventually, as I moved up the line in the lodge, and I eventually became the master of the lodge, I could do my own degree work. I could do, so in that regard, it's like, but oh, my point to Bill is, um, he was well, when I joined the Scottish Rite, I joined the makeup crew because he was on the makeup crew, and he eventually, over the years, he as other people got older and they retired, he became the head of the makeup crew, and here 3 4 years ago, he got his 33rd, he got his white hat, but it has to do with time and effort and everything, you know, putting into it.
Now, I think a big question then on the internet, not know if you would necessarily know or anything. It, I guess, is two questions rolled in one. Do you think that there could be some, because a lot of people do say that, oh well, the 33rd is where that secrecy is, so Masons under that don't know anything. And you know, so I don't really, knowing Bill Carlton, I don't necessarily think he's going and running the world now that he's a 33rd. But um I also
Let me make
think.
something perfectly clear. Let me make something perfectly clear about the Masons are running the world, and Bill Carlton and his ilk now have some secret knowledge that they're going to go and they're going to take over the world. Um, uh, there's no secret 33rd degree club that they go and meet at every you know once a month or once every 6 months to where they go into an underground bunker, and they've got all of their charts and their graphs, and there's no such thing as a secret cabal of 33rd degree Masons. In fact, um, most of them are just happy to be invited to the golf outing in the spring, where they get to rub elbows with the grandmaster and shit like that. Now, I think one of the biggest reasons that a lot of these conspiracy theories have perpetuated is because what you end up with in masonry, um, now historically, because you hear things like, FDR was a Mason, our founding fathers, a lot of them were Masons, all that. I think what a lot of that has to do with is, um, back then and as recently as the last, up until the last few decades, being a Mason was an indication that you were going to be honest and trustworthy, and you were going to be true to your word, and you were going to hold yourself to a higher standard. And I think that people in positions of power and authority tend to gravitate toward others like that, because if you're making big decisions on the world stage or even on a country basis, you don't want a bunch of people that are low life scumbags. I mean, granted, there's a hell of a lot of low life scumbags that are involved in in government and in banking and in everything, but for the most part, um, yeah, for bad or for good or for bad, um, it was also a networking tool in a lot of ways. Where it was only within the past few decades where you didn't have to be a man of worth necessarily. When I say worth, I mean net worth to become a Mason. Um, what dues are in a lodge now compared to what they were um, 50 years ago, that they haven't gone up in terms of cost, because you really had to want to be a part of it to join it back then. But the value of the dollar back then, was a lot greater than it is now. So, I remember when I was a master of the lodge, I remember having debates in lodge about we can't even afford if we don't. Fortunately, we had um, brothers who had donated money in that when they died and stuff. So I mean, we had a pretty good net worth as a lodge. But as far as operating expenses, what we took in and what we paid out in terms of dues coming in and that, we couldn't afford to pay for the dinners we had, because I mean the dues were from like back in the late 50s, early 60s. And anytime we'd have a discussion in the lodge raising the dues from $35 a year to $50 a year, the old folks would have a coronary, thinking that you're trying to steal from them. So it's like, I think I don't want to say we cheapened the craft, but oh, I like that. Ask how many people or members end up reaching 33rd degree masonry. Um, I can't. I don't know the number in total, like throughout the world, but I know that each individual jurisdiction, like the Northern Masonic jurisdiction, gives each Scottish Rite um, the authority to bestow, I don't know, two or three a year. So let's just say the Northern Masonic jurisdiction has, oh, I don't know, um, 25, 20 Scottish Rite bodies. Maybe 100 a year in each, so if it's the same in the Southern Masonic jurisdiction, maybe 200 a year. I mean, that's the best I can do, the best guess I could give on that. Wait, what's this? So I think it speaks for itself. But does it matter what level of
I asked
Mason
that
you are in order
earlier.
to?
Yeah, I asked that
Huh?
earlier. I asked that earlier. You're good.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think any more in terms of information, esoteric knowledge, that's more individualized. If you're a master mason and then and then you're allowed to join different appendant groups and different bodies, like there's a lodge of research that operates. Um, well, they meet once a year at Grand Lodge when Grand Lodge hold its annual communication in October in Illinois, and after the Grand Lodge session in the morning when it ends at 1 o'clock or whatever, then you can either just kind of go about your business and do what you want to do, or different elements of masonry have like little breakout sessions, kind of workshops, and the Lodge of Research is one of those. Um, and there's a lot of people that are genuinely and sincerely interested in the history and the esoteric nature of the craft and things like that. So, I mean, but it's more individualized. There's not uh, there's not one group of people that has all the answers that sits down and you have to kiss the ring in order to join the club to learn the knowledge. That knowledge that is under lock and key that nobody else in the world knows. Um, but there are a lot of things that are very interesting because of the nature of the degree work and the rituals in the degrees. It opens up a lot of questions. I mean, if you're a thinking person and you go through your 3 degrees and become a master mason, you can't help but wonder, where did this come from? How did this happen? Why are these symbols being used? What's the significance of the ritual or the second section of this particular degree work? I mean, what's the significance? Where does it come from? If you're a thinking person and you're truly moved by it, I've said all along that if I wrote out every word of every ritual of every degree and just let you read it, although I can't, but if I did, you still wouldn't fully comprehend the
Is
significance of the
that spunky
degree
enough for you?
unless you went through it, because it truly is a altering, moving experience to go through the degrees. And unless you go through them, you will never truly comprehend everything that Masonic degrees are all about. So, I mean, now granted, I mean, there are certain things that we're bound to not reveal. So I couldn't, write out everything, and but I still contend though that even if I did, you would never be able to truly internalize the experience of being raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason.
Okay. Um. So before we move on, Stampy did ask another thing here. So, as someone who doesn't know much of Masonry and its history, what is it like to be a Master Mason?
Well, there again, it's all in what you put into it. It's like so many other beautiful things in life that it really is what you put into it. Because there's so many people now, and I saw it too when I was a district deputy grand master. I saw so many lodges that had young people joining for all the wrong reasons, joining because they thought that it was going to give them a head up in their industry, or it was going to allow them to meet certain people so they could advance in and either they're too blatant about it and kind of in your face and nobody really wants to be around them, or they get disappointed because they didn't join the Masons and become rich or some shit, and then they're just kind of like a pain in the ass, and you prefer when they don't come to lodge because they just always have something snarky or shitty to say. um, no, and I'm not saying it to be to be a jerk, but When I joined Masonry, I was curious about the esoteric nature of things. And quite frankly, Masonry's always been accused of being a religion or being a cult or being whatever. Um, when you become a Freemason, it's a way for you to connect to something that's much bigger than yourself. And that's why, one of the very first things you're asked when you petition a lodge before you're even voted on in the lodge to be given the first degree is, do you believe in God? Do you believe in a higher power? And if you answer no, then you cannot be voted to be given the degrees. Not because we have anything against atheists, but I mean, quite frankly, if you do not believe in something higher than yourself, and no matter what your book of sacred meaning is, whether it's a Bible or a Torah or Quran or whatever you're, but at some point when you kneel at the altar and take your obligation, you're going to have your hand resting on that. And if you don't believe in something higher than yourself, how can the brothers in that lodge believe that you are being true to your obligation while you're holding your hand on that book of sacred scripture, no matter what it is? So I think when I joined Masonry, it was because I've always been kind of turned off to organized religion. Not that I haven't, I mean, I was born and raised Catholic. But there's so much about organized religion that kind of turns me off, because it is, it's just as political as anything else, and you got just as many people that are scumbags, and um, probably the hypocrisy more than anything else turns me off to organized religion a lot. Anyway, I digress. Masonry to me was a way to get in touch with something that was bigger than me, and it was a way for me to connect with the divine without being told how I had to connect with the divine. And then going through the degrees and internalizing the degrees uh, um, gave me a perspective and really solidified my outlook on how to treat other people, how to be a good dad, how to be a good husband, how to be a good papa now. But I mean, just how to take care of the people around me, how to make sure that if at all possible, I look out for and do things for others that may not be able to do for themselves. It's just it gave me anyway, and I can't speak for anybody else who's ever become a Mason, but it gave me a real connection with all of the uh, all the intrinsic things that make us as good of a person as we can be, being our best selves. Because I felt that if I wasn't, that I would be being untrue to my obligation. I don't know. Might sound silly, might sound, but I mean that's just
No, I get it.
how I've internalized it.
um, so, uh, something that somebody had asked me about when I was saying that I was going to be um, interviewing you, and they asked me, "Oh, well, if you get around to it, ask him this," and I just thought about it. And so they had said, is good as. Oh, by the way, Jade says hello. Um, as good
Well, hello.
as good as the the organization may be, and as good as they may want to do, uh, do you think that the organization is misogynistic in the sense of most misogynistic, like true Masonic, I wouldn't say true, but the most recognized ones don't necessarily accept women into their lodges?
Okay. And unless I want to say I'm transgender, I can't play in the WNBA either.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I just did well because I mean, ooh, I echoed there for a second.
You know how many college campuses? You know how many college campuses have fraternities and sororities on them where You can't join a sorority unless you're a woman. You can't join a fraternity unless you're a guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's not misogynistic to have a fraternity where it's a men only fraternity.
I agree with
You
you.
know,
I
I
just yeah.
I don't want to say I'm offended by it because it takes a hell of a lot to offend me, but it's irritating to me because it's like,
I mean, growing up with you guys, I mean, I've seen nothing but involvement with women and things like that. While they might not be, I mean, direct lodge members, I mean, they have almost just as much involvement in terms of a lot of the side things, whether it's the breakfasts, the helping with the community. Like, I mean, so I, I would have, I felt like I needed to bring it up just because it was asked to me, and I've also seen it online. But I mean, I don't feel that way.
here's the thing. I mean, you can you can pick elements of anything in life and find something to pick on it about, or to point out what you perceive to be a flaw or a fault. Um, because it's a an all men fraternity, you're going to have your segments that think that it must be misogynistic and chauvinistic, when in reality, every guy I've ever known who's been a Mason, for the most part, who who are married, or who have girlfriends, or fiancés, whatever. I mean, they absolutely adore the women in their lives, whether it's their moms or sisters, and they're and they would defend them. They would defend them regardless. And if anybody tried to be chauvinistic or misogynistic toward them in a open setting, they would be the first one to come to their defense, and to come to any lady's defense, any woman's defense. But because we have a tiled lodge room where we only allow male master masons, that doesn't mean that it's we don't value and hold women to the highest regard. That's just ridiculous.
Of course. And before we move on to the next thing here, something else that I had wanted to ask, and you touched on it earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt you or nothing. So, and it sounded like something that you guys, as Masons, would kind of deal with regardless. But like, so with all the teachings and things of that nature, and people wanting to make theories about, these bad guys, run the world that are Masons, this, that, and the third. Um, do you think that bad guys who obtain, go through these teachings and everything, and build a better foundation for their life, can, instead of using them for the betterment of their family, things like that, can use them in a more crooked and sinister way?
You mean kind of like gaining superpowers and using them for evil? Is that what
No,
you mean?
not like, no, not not like that, but I mean, like, just going through, I mean, different political roles, or obtaining wealth in more crooked ways, or I mean, just different things like that, to where, could that be why that the perceived theory is there, in terms of that's not how a regular mason would carry themselves, but someone with the same tools who decides to be, well, an asshole, you know?
Well, I had already said that there's a lot of people who join the fraternity for the wrong reasons. And I mean, I'm not even pretending to say that it's only a recent phenomenon. I'm sure that for centuries, decades at least, you had guys joining the fraternity with ulterior motives. Um, and it wasn't until after they, were phony getting into it, that their true nature was discovered. But now, the Masons do have um, a a mechanism within that can root out and suspend or expel Masons who do things that are, that are in violation of their obligation.
Okay.
So and I anybody sincerely cares about being a Mason is very serious about um, trying to keep the fraternity as clean as possible in that regard. Now, I mean, I'm not naive enough to think that there aren't an awful lot of people that um, don't use their station as a means to try to get try to further themselves, because I've seen it. I've seen the ulterior motive shortly after somebody has become a master mason. Where they're always constantly plugging themselves, or they're always trying to gain an advantage here, or gain a and and unfortunately there's a fine line between masons helping masons. If there's a guy in my lodge, let's say, who's an electrician, and I have an issue with my breaker box, I'm more than likely going to call him because he's knelt at the same altar as I did and took the same obligations as I did, and so I have a greater level of trust that he's going to be on the level with me. He's going to be square, and he's going to tell me, he's going to give me a good price. He's going to do good work, as opposed to somebody I don't know from Adam. And there's a fine line between that and somebody who joined the fraternity just so they could pass their business cards out and get jobs. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
So you're going to have that in any walk of life, though, Dylan. I mean, there's no way to avoid it, and the only thing you can do is just um, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of how people act, and just act accordingly.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. So,
You
before.
know what? I see something here about. You mean like someone using masonry to become a man of power? Um, I would submit to you that in a lot of instances they kind of go hand in hand, where it's um, if you have, let's say, political aspirations, and you're a mayor of a small town, or you're a congressman, or you're this that, and you have higher aspirations, and you have family members who are masons, and it might just kind of be a series of things. You know what? I'm going to join the fraternity because I know that there's other people in this sphere who are masons, and I don't think that. For example, the founding fathers that were masons, I think it was more a function of masonry being a uh, a club, if you will, for gentlemen back then, of of some level of esteem, and they just happened to also have a set of similar values and similar um, goals. I don't think that it was the Masons that um, used their power to sway things. Um, I think I would be more inclined to say that our Constitution is more framed by Masonic teachings than saying that Masonry promotes men of power. Because as you look through, particularly the Bill of Rights and things in our Constitution, they come straight from Masonic teaching. Just like you can't as long as you have for example, in the First Amendment, the separation. Well, they call it the separation between church and state, but it was really never designed to be a separation. But I digress. This is for another podcast. Um, the idea that as a nation, we want you to be religious, but we will not impose a religion on you. That you're free to worship as you choose. Comes straight out of a Masonic teaching where we don't care how you believe as long as you believe. Whereas the fabric of society in a constitutional republic will only be and continue to be functional if you have a belief in something bigger than yourself, and you have a belief that higher power is what has given you your rights, not a government has given you your rights. So that whole psychology stems from Masonry. So I would think that the influence of Masonic teachings may have some bearing on our founding documents, but I don't believe that Masonry is what created the powerful men, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, of course. Could I? Would you say that men who join the Masons, even still today, could maybe recognize that thought process a bit more, making it easier to integrate into that side of into the political world? I mean, you would kind of already said on a local level, but on a macro level.
That again,
So,
I
uh,
don't understand. I don't understand the question.
basically, like, do you think a mason, could essentially, how was I asking that? Um, do you think a mason would be able to, obtain, if they've got the mindset to be into politics on the macro, on the, because you were already talking about the micro in terms of, on the local level. I'm talking like, country politics. I mean, is that is that something that you think is I mean, I guess possible?
That politicians would see it as an advantage if they wanted to be on the national level to become a Mason. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes, even to this day, because they could kind of like recognize the mindset that the founding fathers were instating, and things of that nature.
Well, I don't know that. Um, well, I would submit to you that any politician today that was running for national office that thought that becoming a Mason would be an advantage. Um, I I don't see that as being an advantage now because so much of what um, Masonic teachings teach is anathema to an awful lot of the political sphere nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know that it would be a into politics. Dylan, are you trying to ask if Mason could be into politics? Oh, all right, I
Yeah.
see. Okay. No, I think I just think that now you see so many people in different walks of life that are Masons. Whether it's entertainers or athletes or musicians or some politicians or your local banker or your local barber. So many people are Masons now where um, but such a small percentage of the population to where it's not like you can say, hey, I'm a Mason, vote for me, because 75% of the population would be, well, what the hell does that mean? You know?
No, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I guess like the people that you can get to know, and like the maybe donations from a particular sex or things like that. I mean, I guess that would also lean into the theory of all Masons are, gunning for a specific thing, which I mean, I've, grown up with you. So yeah, never mind. But um to move on though, because I mean, this is something um that I've been very, I mean, just wanting to ask because, it is a bit curious. So, Dad,
Just because you got me on a podcast, just because you got me on a podcast doesn't mean when I answer some of this shit that you've been trying to ask me for years.
oh, no, 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 no.
Okay, just let you.
No. Uh, so that why does Masonry keep oaths and modes of recognition? Like the secret handshakes, the different rituals, things like that, secret in the first place. Why not just open every door and eliminate the conspiracy theories overnight?
Well, because it's part of being a Mason. Um, there are. How can I say this without sounding like an asshole? Okay, okay, I don't care if I sound like an asshole. Um, there's certain elements of Masonry that we hold sacred, if you will, and just like anything else, you don't give everything to everybody because then you devalue it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if we just kind of gave everything and just let it all out there, it takes part of the value away. And I can tell you, like I said much earlier, going through the 3 degrees, they if you take it to heart and you make sure that you go into it in the right frame of mind and it's meaningful to you, there's no other experience like it in that realm. I mean, granted, there's no experience like, having your first child, witnessing the birth of your first child, and all that. But I mean, in 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 the spiritual realm, there's no experience, that I can compare it to. And now, if all of a sudden, we worried about, people saying things about us, oh, they must be doing something evil, or they must be doing something shady because they locked themselves in a door with a guy standing outside the door with a sword, and it's secret, and they have secret handshakes, secret words, and all that. If we worried about that, we'd be spending way too much time giving a shit about something that's meaningless. Because quite frankly, um, those are the things that kind of secure the fact to us that masonry still means something, and if even to this day, even though you got shady people in all walks of life, even to this day, if I meet somebody who's wearing a Masonic ring, or who's getting out of a car that has a Masonic license plate, just kind of by default, just in my heart, in my mind, I'm like, well, there's somebody I can trust. May prove me wrong, but my first instinct, because I know what they went through, I know that they went through the 3 degrees to become a master mason, and they experienced the same thing I did, no matter what part of the world you're from. The 3 degrees don't change. There may be variations in ritual or in floor work and things like that, just slight, change up of a word here, a word there, that kind of stuff. But if you were raised a master mason in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, or in I don't know, Paris, France, you experienced the same thing, and you've gone through the same thing. So if I go to Paris and I'm lost, and I come across somebody, that has a Masonic ring on, I breathe a sigh of relief because I know I can trust that they're going to guide me in the right way. Okay, so now, going back to your question, if you start to strip all the things that make us uniquely Masons away just for the sake of appeasing people that don't like it, it hurts their feelings that we're secretive, you devalue Masonry to Masons. And I think I just think it's foolish.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Um, so, mm, before we wrap this up, just a couple quick little, I guess whether you want to call them history bits or whatever, like just because I kind of got from our format that we Oh, okay, question here. So I have a question. Has there ever been a Mason who has ever gone?
There is no Easter Bunny, there is no
Hold on.
Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England.
Yes, there's no Queen of England. She's dead now. All right, so I have a question. Has there ever been a Mason who has ever gone or went against other Masons?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if you're familiar with the Morgan affair from from the 1800s, when um, he joined Morgan joined the Masons for the express purpose of publishing an expose on the secrets of Masonry, and he ended up disappearing, um, playing into your conspiracy theory. But answer your question, yes, there have been. Uh,
Wait,
but
hold on. Is this the dude that ended up from a bridge?
I can neither confirm or deny that. I wasn't alive. You can't blame me.
That was the 1800s. It was a different time period.
That's right. No, but in all in all seriousness, yeah, you going back to people joining with different motives, and there have been a lot of people since that, because they didn't get out of it what they had thought they were going to get out of it when they joined. Um, whether that be fame or fortune or whatever. Um, in their attempt to throw a temper tantrum, they went against other Masons, and I've seen firsthand where one Mason would have an affair with another Mason's wife. Now he got suspended from the fraternity because it's in violation of his obligation. But I mean, I mean, like any other organization, the components of it are human beings. And you can only hope, you can only pray that the members of that organization are true to their obligation and are true to the tenets of the fraternity. You're going to have your bad apples, no matter what organization you're talking about. And it to me, it's just a little bit more depressing when you see it happen in Masonry because of the standard we try to hold ourselves to as Master Masons. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it's sad to me. It's really sad to me.
Okay. Okay. So just thought about it now. Do you think, from your experience and in your eyes, are the Masons and Masonry itself moving in the right direction or in the wrong direction?
Um, hmm. I personally, I think that um, just in my time being a Mason, I've seen Masonry go. Um, See, I'm trying to avoid being political in this answer.
I got you.
Okay, but the truth is, there's far too many people in positions of power now in Masonry that care too much about what the outside world thinks, care too much about um, no different than corporations caring about what's going to be posted on Instagram or Twitter, or they care too much about outside perception, and they tend to make there's a lot of Masonry that's been made vanilla, if you will, where um, when I joined, when I became a Mason, there were a lot more opportunities for me to um, actually have serious esoteric conversations in the lodge room and with my fraternal brothers and things like that. And it became more and less frequent, I should say, because it wasn't frowned upon as much as it just wasn't the norm anymore. When I was a master in my lodge, I tried to institute um, Masonic education, and from an esoteric standpoint, whereas the idea of Masonic education that was passed down to the local lodges from Grand Lodge was so much more vanilla about you know when to have your next pancake breakfast and when to do your next this and this and this, as opposed to really delving into the uh, the esoteric nature of the craft. So that was disappointing to me because it seemed like the fraternity was more worried about, now for good reason, because membership has declined. But the argument I'd made to the Grand Master was, I think it declines more because it's not viewed as something special anymore, as opposed to something that gives you a purpose. And if something gives you a purpose, it shouldn't be so easy to attain. But that flew in the face of when I became a Mason, you had to request, you had to ask, and a little earlier than when I became a Mason, you had to ask somebody 3 times before they talked to you about it and invited you to come to dinner.
Oh, wow.
Whereas now, Masonry has a direct kind of an outreach program, where it's like, hey, if you know somebody who you think could be a good Mason, reach out to them and ask them if they want to come to dinner. Whereas to me, it should be something that you have gotten a little bit of knowledge about, you're a little curious about, somebody who's a Mason, and you want to emulate that person because of how you see them in terms of how they act, how they are in the community, and you see that, you want to emulate that, and you ask them, hey, how do I become a Mason? And it used to be they wouldn't answer you until you approach them 3 times. They wouldn't answer you and say, if you're really interested, We have dinner before our meetings on the second and fourth Thursday of the month. Would love it if you came out to dinner as my guest. And that was your first introduction to it, but you had to show that desire. Whereas now, I mean, hell, they pretty much, put, petitions door to door almost, So, I mean, there's things that have changed that I don't like, but, I understand from a marketing standpoint, from a standpoint of, that they don't want to see the membership numbers decline. But I have also seen that when you have certain people in positions of authority, grandmaster or area grandmasters, that make it special, make it appear to be more exclusive because it is special, you have a greater interest, just like anything else. If something appears to be if something has appears to be special, you're going to want it more than something that seems to be just hey, anybody can have that. So you're going to get a lot more people knocking at your door if they think that when you open it they're going to be exposed to something special, as opposed to just hey, come on in, it's unlocked. And now we're also not doing ourselves any favors when it comes to doing our rituals and our degree work. Like I said before, it used to be mouth to ear that you would learn the ritual, you would learn the degree work. Now, there's printed material that if you're a Master Mason you can get, so you can learn your ritual. There's printed manuals for your floor work in the lodge, up to and including there's some lodges that let the people in the stations read the ritual work because they don't take the time to memorize it. There's some jurisdictions that are actually considering showing videos of the degree because the members of the lodge don't want to take the time to learn the degree work. So in that regard, yeah, there's a lot of things in modern masonry that disappoint me, even from the point when I joined. But masonry as an institution, you strip it all down to what it is and the meaning behind it, and I love it. I'm proud to be a Master Mason.
Amazing. So one more question. If it was to happen, okay. So if it was to happen, what do you think will or could be the end of the Freemason and Masonry itself?
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know that it would ever end, per se. The only way it could, I think, is if there was is if something happened societally where a group of people who had all of these overblown conspiracy theories about how the Masons were trying to rule the world somehow convinced enough people that the Masons were behind whatever this catastrophic event was, and Masons had to go underground. I don't think it would end Masonry, but I think that they would end up going, because right after the Morgan affair, we were talking about Morgan, and him revealing the secrets, and then mysteriously being discovered swinging. I think there was a period in our history then where there was the anti-Masonic party in the United States that because a lot of the politicians, a lot of the people in power were Masons at the time. So as a backlash to the Morgan affair, there was an actual anti-Masonic party, and I think that it would have to be a pretty catastrophic event, and a group of pretty persuasive people to try to lay it at the feet of the Mason, especially as fucking benign as the Masons are now. It's like, who's gonna believe, that a bunch of guys, having a pancake breakfast is gonna go out and do something catastrophic. But to answer your question, to be as it's the only thing I can think of is that there'd have to be an event that a group of conspiracy theorists decided to put at the feet of the Masons to create enough backlash to where You couldn't really show your face in public and publicly acknowledge that you were a Mason in order for the Masons to end. And then I still think that Master Masons would gather in secret. And you know that in World War II, Masons were also rounded up and
Yeah.
uh, and executed. And there's some really cool old memorabilia, Masonic memorabilia, where there were like gold rings that had it had like a flip thing where it had the square and compass on one side, and you could actually flip it over so it was solid gold on the other. So when you were seriously, so you could still have your Masonic ring, but you didn't have to identify yourself in public. So then that way you weren't putting your life at risk.
That's actually really cool though.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, just on the topic of asking the different questions like that. So, I mean, something that I'm curious about. I believe we've talked about it years ago. I'm sure a lot of people are curious about too. And on the topic of like founding fathers, our American government, things like that. Um, why do you think the founding fathers and uh, things of that nature? I mean, to this day, you see square and compasses or different Masonic symbolism uh, engraved in certain places, or just the traces of masonry. Besides the words that were written, but like just the actual symbolism. Why do you think that was left over?
Well, I mean,
Like
honestly,
the dollar, for example, too. Like
well, I mean that's a big myth, though.
oh, really?
Yeah, um, the coincidence that the uh, the unfinished pyramid with the all-seeing eye is a Masonic symbol. Um, the pyramid with the all-seeing eye is more symbolic of of a structure that's incomplete, because even as we were being founded, and even to this day, as complete as we'd like to think we are, we always have room to improve. We always have room to make the structure better. That's what that symbolized. It didn't symbolize that the Masons are watching over the United States. Um, but to answer your question about why we still see it on the public square, if you look at any building that's what over 60 or 70 years old, and you look at the cornerstone, it's going to have a square and compass on it. It's going to have some indication that the cornerstone was laid by the Masons, because in most communities, it was good luck more than anything to have your local Masonic lodge lay the cornerstone of a new building, of a new edifice that was being built to honor the government or honor, the judicial system, or so they had their local lodge come and lay the cornerstone. I
Oh,
mean, heck, George Washington laid the cornerstone of the Capitol building. And if you uncovered it, I mean, granted, the grade is now up much higher than what the original cornerstone was. But if you uncovered it, it would still have the square and compass, and it would still, because George Washington laid the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol.
that's actually awesome. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Um. Do, 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 do. I'm trying to think here. Um. So, any more questions from Chad?
From who?
Chat.
Is he our only questioner?
Seems, yeah. I mean, we've got a handful of viewers, but he's the only one that's been asking questions.
How many viewers do we have?
5 at the moment. At one point, we had 11.
Wow. Why did I scare him off? What'd I do?
No, no, you weren't telling them the juicy secrets.
No, I didn't. I thought maybe I was just that boring.
um. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of have a so. Um. Oh, you know what? There's one person that I want to check who's still here because there's one topic I want to talk about. Puzzled?
Oh,
Is Puzzled here? You know what? I'll tell him to rewatch it anyways because he'll love to hear that we were talking about this. Um. So, my buddy lives in Scotland. He doesn't live too far from a particular place, Roslyn Chapel. Um, so in times that we've talked, you've said that there's quite a tremendous amount of history behind that building. Uh,
There's a lot of symbology. There's a lot of symbol there.
would you be willing to, or wanting to discuss any of that?
Now, I've never. I would love to go there. I've never been there. All I know is from what I've read and what I've seen in books and that. I do know there's an awful lot of symbolism in Rosslyn Chapel that could be directly, related um, um, to the Freemasons. You have to remember too that one of the last Knights Templar was Saint Clair. Um, they changed their name to Sinclair. The Saint Clairs did, and it's not coincidental that one of the first in some of the first records of Masonic meetings, there was Sinclair. So I mean, is there a line, perhaps? Um, is it? I don't think it's coincidence that you see a lot of symbolism in Rosslyn Chapel, but you also see a lot of pagan symbolism in Rosslyn Chapel. You also see a lot of what is the hmm, it's not pagan. It's
I could look it up real quick.
the Irish, the Scottish, the English. Up there that they had there was a what did they what did they were mm, it starts with a G, doesn't it? I can't off the top of my head. I'm just. It's also 9:45 at night. It's getting close to my bedtime. I might be turning into a pumpkin soon.
So, from just a quick search here, it says Christianity, Roman Catholic origins, founding faith, biblical carvings, current denomination. So pagan and pre-Christian symbolism. The Green Man. Over 100
Yeah,
carvings of the Green Man
yep, the Green
appear.
Man. Yeah,
Nature motifs, detailed carvings of plants, herbs, and animal reflects a deep medieval appreciation. And then esoteric association, Knights Templar and Freemasonry. Um, Carvings hint at medieval military religious orders, such as the famous symbol of the two riders on a single horse, feeding modern legends that the Templar hid sacred treasures there. Freemasonry, liturgy, geometric designs, and specific
hey,
sacred.
you say that you know that the two men on the horse was actually one of the images on one side of Templar coinage, right? It was also imagery of the Knights Templar, the two men on a horse.
Okay, and that's apparently at Roslyn Chapel directly. So I mean, I think
Mhm.
wouldn't that be a
Yeah.
direct link then? Or I mean,
Okay.
would
Now,
you?
here's something interesting, and then we don't need to get into a whole thing. And no, Chloe, I've never led a Masonic war. Um, there are also carvings in Roslyn Chapel of maize, which is corn, right? Corn was foreign to the British Isles at that time, and so the conspiracy theory goes that um, some had sailed to the Americas prior to any other documented sailing to the discovery of the Americas. That's how they knew what corn looked like to carve it into Rosslyn Chapel. That's also why you get all these conspiracies about Templar treasure being hid in different locations in North America was
Oak
because
Island, things like
um,
that. Yeah.
well, it was because the only way they would have known to carve maize into Rosslyn Chapel was to have seen it. And how could they have seen it if they hadn't been to North America? At times it predated um, actual, discoveries of North
Yeah,
America.
yeah. Well, and aren't there also like those? I forgot what the Templars built or something like that, but like the structures, like that have been found in certain states. I can't remember the name of them, but they're supposed like Templar structures or things like that.
Yeah, there's all kind of ways that people try to broaden the conspiracies to, I don't know, it too much brain power for me to think all that stuff through. Now there was a time in my life when it was interesting enough, all the outlandish, way out there kind of conspiracies were interesting enough that I would, spend my time thinking about it. But might be the only one asking questions is because a man with so much history and theories, including Masonry, just found out he's a child of a Freemason. I just there's so much of it that you can go down a rabbit hole on a lot of things, and when I've been a business owner and a father and a husband and so there's so many things that vie for your time, and at the same time I was also the master of my lodge, a district deputy grand master in the Masonic sphere, where I needed some time to just kind of kick back and read a book if I wanted to that wasn't Masonic in origin, just to entertain myself. So it's like I could deep dive into a lot of things if I wanted to, but nah.
No, I get it. I get it. Um, mm, mm, mm. Oh, speaking of the Knights Templar and everything, I guess just a random theory that I thought about, and I don't know if
Oh, here
you
we go.
well, no, it's just it should just be a quick one, I think. Do you think that Christopher Columbus was a Templar?
um, well, it doesn't escape me that a derivation of the Templar cross was on the sails of the boat, but you can read into anything, dude. You can read into anything.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Um, yeah. Um, well, I mean, on the topic of Rosslyn Chapel, because looking up, or when I had looked this up, saying that hid sacred treasures there. Do you think that's probable?
Well, I guess it depends on your definition of sacred treasures. I mean, do I think there's a do I think there's a stash of gold and jewels? I don't know. I don't think so. Um, but could there be scrolls? Could there be uh, things of that nature? Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, put it this way: it's fun to think about. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to go back and forth, and just like if you've ever seen the footprint of an overhead footprint of the main part of Rosslyn Chapel, they claim that the dimensions of that footprint and the way pillars and that are situated mirror that of the Sanctum Sanctorum of King Solomon's temple. So I
Oh,
mean, what's the next thing that the Templars came there with the blueprints for King Solomon's temple and decided, hey, let's make a copy. You can come up with whatever you want to.
yeah, yeah. I
Yes, oh yeah, and a pawpaw. Yes, I am. That's my favorite title now, pawpaw.
I just think I don't know. I think that's where, I mean, wrapping this all, together. I think that's where a lot of misconceptions are, is because the Knights Templar themselves might have had a lot of you know, secrecy to them, or a lot of, stake in things. Um, but I mean, the Masons of today, what? How long ago was that? 700 years ago?
Yeah.
So I mean, the Masons of today, that's kind of like a how much of that knowledge is still true in blue, and even if it is 100% true in blue, it's like I don't know. Things take different forms over. I mean, 700 years of time. The like even if you guys on the wildest theory that you guys were directly descendants of Templars, hell, even directly through the Sinclair St. Clair lineage there. So it's still 700 years of time would change an organization, I feel.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's naturally, but that's assuming that the Freemasons are direct descendants of the Knights Templar, which, like I said, I think I think that there's a case that could be made for a communication down the line of different ritual, different elements of the ceremonies that may have been adopted by the Masons guilds, but to say that Masonry was a direct descendant of, I don't know. I think it's kind of a stretch.
Well,
Um,
I guess when I say direct descendant, I think I mean more so like I mean the Sinclairs, once they changed their name, more so kind of took an approach of like the Knights Templar didn't work. These are the things we disagreed with. We should form a new order. Maybe not even directly that, or like because maybe even their well, I mean if they're the ones who built that temple and a lot of that new iconography, maybe they were the ones that were like this old tactic didn't work. Not even tactic as much as these are the things we didn't agree with the Knights Templar Order. We maybe think we should go a bit more spiritual route. We don't need to be this large banking order. We don't need to exert control. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. We should just stick to our spirituality, stick to our higher power, so to speak.
could very well be. I just I think though we're all in the realm of speculation. You
Yeah.
know,
So wait, Puzzled said I just looked up William Wallace and the Knights Templar, and it sounds like Scotland does not like them. What does that mean? What did Was William Wallace a Templar?
no, William Wallace was uh, wasn't he the dude from Braveheart? Wasn't it?
Scotland forever. Oh, William Wallace fought against them. Now, did he fight against them like prior to them being like excommunicated, or was this something that like they had gotten like kicked out of? And then, like when everything started, they sailed there and did William Wallace. What's the timeline there? Would you know that off the top of your head, Dad?
Well, yeah, but let's see. He died. Didn't William Wallace die like in the early 1300s at the same time? Because the Templars were disbanded in '07. He died in 1307. Well, technically they were disbanded in 1312, but I mean they were arrested and rounded up in 1307, Friday the 13th of October. Um, but uh, but William Wallace fought against England. He was a Scottish knight, though, wasn't he? He fought against England.
So William Wallace fighting for Scotland independence. How does that involve the Masons, though? Well, hello there.
Well, he just said the Knights Templar owed allegiance to the British Crown. No, the Knights Templar before they were disbanded didn't owe allegiance to any crown. They owed allegiance to the Pope because the Pope is who created them. They were a band of warrior monks.
The Knights Templar owed Yeah, I was gonna say they were their own. I mean, hell, they were. I mean, at that point, were they even like owed allegiance to the Pope because of the strange situation, or
Well, no, but if William Wallace died in 1303, he died before the Templars were disbanded, and the Templars owed allegiance to the Pope, not to the English crown. They didn't owe allegiance to any crown. That was a reason why that was a reason why the King of France hated him. Well,
Fuck bitches get
loved
money.
them from the sense of he was in debt to them because they gave him a bunch of money to fight England. The Templars, I mean, pretty much bankrolled the French crown, and that was another reason why it was mighty convenient for Prince Philip the Fair to um, want to clamp down on him, is so that he could erase the debt he owed them. He wanted to go and his plan was to raid the temple in France and take all their treasure, but it was gone when they bust through the doors.
can you see chat there?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he took that off of like whatever he'd searched it from because he quoted it, but
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Wallace was dead before the Templars were disbanded, so any connection the Templars had with Scotland, by way of running away to him, running away to Scotland, Wallace wouldn't have had any. What's he saying here? Prior to Falkland, serving as guardian of Scotland, Wallace Templars significant lands actively suppressed English authority.
okay. Well, it doesn't. What? Well, exactly. It doesn't sound like the Templars were indebted to the crown as much as they were just kind of teaming up with the crown.
Well, I know that not only did the Templars, have their big preceptory in France, but they also have. I mean, to this day, there's a big. It's a circle church in England that was Templar in origin. Um, I don't know if that means that they were direct allies with the crown. I know that they never had an allegiance to any monarch because having been ordained by the Pope, um, they felt that they had superiority to any monarch. You know what I'm saying? So just because they may have rode in battle with the English doesn't necessarily mean that um, they were uh, beholden to the British crown.
I was gonna say too.
Because you can be an ally for a particular cause and not be beholden to them either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Remember, puzzled. History's always written by the victors. um. Hmm. Okay. So we're okay. So let's just get to where we're at here. Um. All right. So just before we wrap up today and everything, um, mm, I want to, after we've dived into all the history theories, I want to take a pivot into, real life outside of all this. Um, so, you know, towards the end here, because my dad took the time out of his night to, come onto the podcast, talk about, his life with the Masons and, possibly get a bit out of his comfort zone. He, started to or open a business and everything, and I want to be able to plug it and everything. That
Oh,
being,
you don't have to plug those. I mean, I appreciate that, but I mean that's not why I'm here, buddy.
well, I mean,
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but I mean, no, I mean I just like um, never once when I was ever involved in anything Masonic did I ever try to plug or post or anything relative to my business. I mean, anybody who ever asked, I would talk to them about it, but I mean, it's
well,
I just
you gotta,
I don't like to use we're talking about something. This is your podcast. We're talking about something that's that has nothing to do with business, and I just think that I don't know how appropriate it would be for me to be on here plugging. It just
no, I get you. I mean, puzzled. It said, "Tell us the business." Yeah.
okay. Well, what I do, it's twofold. I've got a um, long story short, it's a business consulting firm, but we do more a la carte type things where we'll go in and we'll do a fix it day or um, um, like a backroom cleanup Friday kind of thing, where we go and Oh, we take care of administrative things, or I'll show you in your books what you need to straighten up and clean up in your books. Systems, whether it be your Google presence, whether it be, anything business related, backroom related, that, yeah, see, it's now a business podcast. See? Um, um, oh, thank you, Dylan. That's nice. Um, and now a division of the RDC Business Services is Lee's Money Brew. And what that is, that I'm excited about, just because I get to work with people, individuals. Don't get me wrong, I like working with businesses. I like helping businesses. I like cleaning things up and getting in there and helping them figure things out so they went into business doing something they love, and they don't realize a lot of times all the bullshit that's involved in the back end that I help them figure out, and I help them sort out and get systems in place for themselves. But now, personally, I do financial coaching. I'll meet with people and I'll help them, uh, whether it's get out of debt or put a plan together to build wealth, to um, change their family tree, to help their kids determine what they want to be when they grow up, so to speak, and then find the right mechanism, the right schools, the right scholarships, the right grants, so they can go and so they're not getting out of school with tens of thousands of dollars of debt. We do. Um, that's something that just kind of it means a lot to me. I enjoy doing it because we get to work across the table from people and help them get out of some hard times and give them some confidence, give them some hope that they can turn it around and that they can they're not burdened by so much of the financial crap that they've been burdened with, and find a way to actually build some wealth and become something they only dreamed of becoming, and then pass that legacy down to their kids and their grandkids, and hopefully, like I said, change their family tree.
Hell yeah. Mm, Well, I somebody already had said, was Stampy a little bit ago. He said, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on to your son's podcast and talk about masonry. Um,
I saw that. That was
so,
very sweet.
so, I mean, people are happy about it. I've been hyping it up the last week. I appreciate it, and I had
Of
a
course.
fun time too.
Well, I'm glad, and I feel like I did way too much talking, so I apologize. I hope I didn't
No,
cut you off. Anything you were gonna say?
no, no.
Should get your dad to play some games with us from time to time. Yeah.
Bro, I'd love to. I always try and weasel that in, be like, hey, you should get this. Hey, you should get the. But no, never, never. He
I
doesn't
have
want
one
to.
question. Was Dylan actually a problem child? That's funny. No, yeah, and okay, now here's the truth, the absolute truth. Dylan had his moments, okay, but Dylan's always had a good heart. Dylan has always had a soft spot for um, that people that he thought weren't getting a fair shake or weren't doing. But I mean, like a lot of kids, he also had a lazy streak and he didn't apply himself. The kid, as a parent, that's what always would frustrate me, was that as smart as he was, if he applied himself, he could have done so much more. And and I guess probably because I'm a parent, I hate to see potential go to waste. But I mean, he's always had a big heart. He's always um, loved as much as a person's capable of loving. He had a big heart, and he always loved. And you know, there's a reason why his little brothers always gravitated toward him, because he just had that good nature. If he could couple that with a little bit of drive and determination and work ethic, there's nothing in the world he can't do. So that's what we're working on now, right, son?
Okay.
To join the hive, my official Discord. Well, look at you all kind of So that's Stream Elmo. So that's you, huh?
No, I
Hey,
ain't
what's
doing
your?
that. That's a robot that's doing that on its own.
Oh, really?
I mean, I have it set in time intervals. It also plugs, Cal, he came to the wedding. He started to stream now too. It also plugs his channel so people can go and follow him.
A little hard boiled. That's funny.
Oh my. Yeah, nah. This man, when my mom was here, he was being such a kiss ass to my mom.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
He's trying to be the new Croix.
Be the new what?
Croyce, she said. Nick.
Oh, Nick. Stop it now. I love Nick. Nick's awesome.
Does my father enjoy Dr. Pepper? Oh, I guess it's just Q&A time with you.
I like Dr. Pepper. I prefer coffee and water and sweet tea once in a while, but I'm not big on carbonated beverages. Except now when I have on the occasion that I have pizza, I have to have like a cream soda or Dr. Pepper or something. But other than that, I'm not big on cream soda or on carbonated beverage.
Yeah, no, there was an incident on my stream with my mother where she had just completely detested and said, I hate Dr. Pepper, and the stare that I gave her, it had gotten clipped. Everybody was dying of laughter about it. I think that's where that question origins from.
Gotcha. Well, why did she even say she hates Dr.? Was it just a random thing that popped out of her face, or?
No, so we had gone to the candy store and she had bought 6 different weird tasting sodas, like with really weird names, like unicorn yak, bug barf, pirate piss, really weird names. And
Where did you go get this stuff?
there's a new candy store in Hohenwald. It's like a local one. It's really cool. My mom grabbed it. It was $20 for 6 of them. Um and
Oh, Jesus.
yeah. But we
I'm glad, I'm glad she got her plane tickets before she bought that soda.
Speaking of which,
but
they looked
we
at my
we had,
profile.
but we had actually gotten that, and then I had told my mom, maybe it was a mistake, but ended up not being a mistake just because it made for good content, how moonshine is legal down here. And so we had
Oh, no.
taken a trip to the liquor store, got some
Oh, no.
moonshine,
Oh,
and
God.
we had all, after the tasting and everything, taken some shots on stream. And before my mother did, I was like, "Hey, you know what? You want to get a chaser, mom? I can get you Dr. Pepper." She looks at me and she goes, "I don't like carbonated drinks. I hate
She
Dr.
was like,
Pepper."
I don't like soda. Or I don't drink soda. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
and then followed up with yeah. Oh, the oh no says it all. Well, see, my mother didn't drink as.
What?
No, yeah, no. The John Deere in chat had said the oh no says it all because of you saying oh no. See, my mother is the loveliest person on earth. Until she gets to partying, she.
Be nice. Be nice. It's your mom.
Oh yeah, no. And I mean,
Okay.
even then, she's still very lovely. I love her dearly, but she parties too hard. I'll put it that way. Do you disagree?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
It's kind of like the secrets of Master Masons. I'm gonna opt not to reveal my
Oh
my
my.
opinion on that.
Oh my. She's a woman that has a good time, Puzzled said. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
so, Dad,
Yeah.
we should go to Scotland and go to Rosslyn Chapel. Puzzled said we can bunk with him.
Well, that'd be cool.
His dad also lives next to a military base. Or not his dad, he lives next to a military base that is. What do you mean, excuse me? We talked about this. Yeah, just tell your parents that we're coming to uncover the Templar's treasure, and they can, because my dad doesn't want rights to it, they can be the one to claim they found it to get riches.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we'd probably get stopped if y'all can come, but you ain't bunking, boy.
Y'all can bunkin', boy. Now imagine that in the Scottish accent, though.
Yeah, we'd probably get stopped at the door if we walked in there with some hammers and chisels and shit. So I think.
You don't think you wouldn't be able to like flash them like, hey, it's all good. I'm a 32nd degree.
Yeah, I'm thinking great. Yeah, they'll tell me. Yeah, so was the other line of people that walked in here.
Use kin come to come, but use aren't bunking. So where can we stay? Come on, we're close enough to Appalachia. We're like you said, we're basically kin. Like our mountains were once together in Pangea. Yeah, you know what? You've seen the like trend online, Dad. We just like put on those
This guy's
construction.
carrying a hammer. He's all good. Yeah, see.
Yeah, we just put on the construction hats, the visors and like the yellow things and everything. Walk in like we're doing construction. Just hey, we're here, scheduled. You can call Sinclair. Do they still own it?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Exactly. Just it's like the wild Walmart access. We'll get right in.
Yeah, I think the security can be a little bit tighter at Rosalind Chapel than at your local Walmart.
Get a hotel in town, and we'll get a day trip. We'll go. See, I don't even know
Ah,
how
there you go.
much how much did it cost to. Yeah, I'm actually curious because you came out to Canada, so I don't imagine it'd be much more to get out to America. How much did it cost you to come to Canada, Puzzled? Have you ever looked into how much it costs to get to Scotland, Dad?
Nope.
Because I'm,
Nope. If I don't know that. Wait, hold on. Walmart has the best security. Well, keep in mind I stayed with someone, so I only paid for the flight, which is about 500 pounds.
and that was a two-way flight. Well, I would assume so. You would have said differently if it
He's
wasn't.
back. He's back home, isn't he?
Well, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So okay, and then well, I don't even know what the conversion there is. So yeah, that'd be hell. It sounds like it'd be cheaper to go to Scotland than to go to Vegas, Dad.
I don't plan on going to Vegas either, son.
Well, I mean, understandable, but at the same, like, I mean, you know, I'm just saying.
I've
It
only
seems.
seen I've only seen a few random messages from I love John Deere tractors, and but when it is, it's hilarious. Did you see this one?
Yeah,
The plane was only 500 pounds. That's really light,
that is though, is it not though? To get to Scotland?
dude. He's talking about weight, 500 pounds for a plane, as opposed to a
God,
unit of
God damn it, John
monetary
Deere.
measure.
Oh my gosh. Of course.
Thank you, puzzled. You answered our question.
900. Well, a plane can't be heavy to fly, right?
Oh dear God.
Oh boy, what's this?
Well, your Masonic podcast has now devolved into craziness.
Round trip depending on the session. So, I mean, well, realistically, what? After I get out of college, I mean, I think that'd be a fun trip to take everybody on because Ellie'd be a couple years older too. Take her to a different country. Would you actually want to plan this like in a couple years? Go to Scotland?
Dude, how long do you plan on? You said when you get out of school, Ellie will be a couple years older. She said you'll be done in a year, son.
No, but I mean,
She'll
once
be
I'm talking once I get out of school, get a job, and getting the income and can actually save for something like that for my family. Like that'd be a couple years.
I got you. We'll help you plan it. We'll help you plan it.
Not help me. I
I'll
want
even
you. I was gonna say I want you to come with. That'd be fun.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
What?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go anywhere.
You don't want to go see Rosalind Chapel,
No, no. I've seen the pictures. It's very nice.
homie? Once upon a time, you would have loved to go there. What happened?
Now, see if it's to go see Puzzled.
We're going to
That
see
would be
Puzzled,
that would
and we're going to see
that would be
Rosalind
the
Chapel.
incentive. That would be the incentive to
Exactly.
go meet Puzzled.
Exactly. That's what it's both situated. We're going to meet him and Rosalind Chapel. We can even go and investigate the nuclear military base next to Puzzled's house. See if we can get
I'm
like a
going to
tour.
Scott. Honey, I'm home and I got riches with me. That's funny.
Honestly, it'd be more so, honey, I'm home. We're gonna start building the third temple in our front yard.
Don't you? Yeah, that'll be.
You could design it in CAD.
Yeah, you could design it in CAD, son. Look at that.
Yo, I got this shit. That's my purpose to go now. That'll be my what's the word for the my magnum opus. I will design the third temple in CAD via the Templar archives.
And you could print the and you could use the 3D printer to print out the panels.
Yes, of
One brick at a time.
Wait, I need you to lay the first one though.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Is that Scotland's Area 51? I don't. Oh boy, do they even have an Area 50? Okay, interesting. All right. Anyways, this digressed, and it's 10:21. You probably want to go to bed.
yeah,
Alrighty.
yeah, I do. Wait, it's a naval base that holds like the UK's. Oh, huh.
Oh, so in other words, if there were to ever be like a issue and like you were targeted for like nuclear, yeah, you're done. So that's okay though. When I lived in Illinois, I
Oh,
can't
I'm not going
imagine.
to Roswell Chapel then, because my luck, that's when they'll fucking be going to take out. No, I'm good, thanks.
No, I guess Rosalind Chapel is like a good hour or two away from him.
Oh, yeah, and if a nuclear warhead is launched at where he's at, that won't have any. Have you ever seen the radius? I'm good.
I'm good.
I'll wait for you to create it on a 3D printer for me.
Oh my. Rosalind Chapel is like a 2-hour drive from him. See, even safer, Dad.
Oh, we're good then, yeah.
See? We're good. Perfect.
All right. Well, are you going to wrap this up, or what are we doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can just, because I'm debating on if I'm going to continue or not, because I think Puzzled is trying to play a game and unlucky, so I might switch to gaming mode here.
Get a hotel near him, so if that happens, he ain't going down alone. That's funny. Well, it was certainly nice meeting you, both Puzzled and the Archangel of Destruction and
John Deere.
John Deere. Oh, yep, can't forget John Deere.
And all the
I'm just trying to
onlookers.
scroll up here and see who else might be.
There were a few
And
onlookers.
Chloe, of course, my lovely daughter-in-law.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, at one point there were 11 people, so there were just a ton of people watching, not saying nothing. So, to everybody who said some, had some questions, and were interacting, thank you. Appreciate you a lot. Anybody who didn't really have anything to say, we appreciate you, even though, we appreciate you just here watching, learning about the history, and just here for a good time. But
And learning what a crazy ass dad you have, I guess, right?
no, you ain't crazy. You're insightful. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
I know you were the only one that asked questions. No, you know what? When it got to like the Q&A portion, everyone was asking questions. You might have been only asking questions about the Masons, but people were loving to just ask them random questions. So that's false.
I'll have questions ready to ask. That's funny. Oh, good. I better be on my A game then. I can't just be. I have to write myself a script. I can't just be going off the cuff.
Alrighty. Well, I love you. Go to sleep.
All right, son. I love you too. Thanks for having me. I'm glad we could do this.
Of course. Good night.
All right, buddy. Good night. Bye.
Alrighty, everybody. Now, I'm going to put my thing on Be Right Back because we're going to switch to game mode here, but we'll be back.
are the school parent groups about the country, and you must stand united on this and stamp out this frightful assassin of our youth. You can do it by bringing about compulsory education on the subject of narcotics in general, the dread marijuana in particular. That is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, to lay the foundation for a nationwide campaign by you to demand by law such compulsory education. Because it is only through enlightenment that this scourge can be wiped out. Out of the traffic in these drugs, a lawlessness that we can scarcely estimate has grown and is now flourishing. It exists in almost every city and hamlet in the country. It might be interesting and important for you to know some of the methods used in bringing these drugs into the country, and the work of the forces of law and order, which are daily combating the traffic, always at the risk of life by their agents. This ceaseless fight against the drug traffic is directed by the Department of Narcotics, Washington. I've received a letter of vital importance from a member of the Narcotics Bureau. I'm going to read this letter to you. My dear Dr. Carroll, the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. At the outset of this letter, there is one vital fact I would like to submit. There is a powerful agency. I speak of the school parent associations of this country, which can be invaluable in stamping out this scourge. Their help, their eternal vigilance, could be the deciding factor in our fight against it. The weed marijuana is grown in every state in the Union. Recently, in the city of Brooklyn, New York, a field of marijuana was found behind a tenement court. The weed was here being cultivated, regularly stripped and dried and sold in schools and at government army posts in and around New York. The dried leaves and berries are ground up and made into cigarettes by a simple hand machine. The deadly narcotic is thus quickly and easily prepared for its market. The sale of marijuana is even more difficult to detect and halt than the traffic in drugs such as opium, morphine, and heroin. They are hidden in fake jewelry cases, in the heels of shoes, women's shoes especially, because the drugs can be secreted in false heels. Hollowed shaving brushes are another medium. Books with false centers are often used. Watch cases are convenient hiding places. The value of drugs thus seized is enormous. Recently, a huge supply of heroin was taken. It was concealed in an apparently harmless shipment of 35 barrels of olive oil. The deadly drug was burned in the incinerator of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And more vicious, more deadly, even than these soul-destroying drugs, is the menace of marijuana. No doubt many of you do not believe that these things do happen, that they cannot happen to you. You may also believe that the facts have been exaggerated. Let me tell you of something that happened right here in our own city.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
The time has come, Chad. For me to do nothing against Dro.
Where the fuck am I?
I still don't see why we can't face each other in the arena.
Do I have that yet? I do. Good, good, good. Goody, good, 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 good.
Also, Dro, you're always saying, like, Kevin's stuff that you can hear through his mic. I have friends that stream that literally will just sing along to music, and you can hear the music too. There is no problem when it comes to music, at the very least.
Intriguing. It's just when you re-upload the videos, and I like to re-upload my videos.
Oh.
I need leather.
Do you have a ranch on your farm?
I do.
Or... All right. What? Oh, my battery died. Yes. Cool. Oh. Do you have a serpent?
No.
How do you not have a serpent?
Someone here does. I don't. Listen. Don't talk shit about shit you don't want to know about, alright?
You guys should make a public mailbox. Because you can just shove each other's pails in there that you don't necessarily care about, but you might need for the base.
Yeah? Is that what you think we should fucking do?
I do.
Is he telling us what to
'Cause
do
I
in our
don't
own
have-
base?
I don't have an extra serpent. I do that in our own base.
Don, he's fucking telling us what to do.
That's what
I'm giving
saying, bro.
suggestions.
We're not gonna fucking stand for that.
I was asking for suggestions of help and stuff.
We didn't ask for them. Did
Yo-
we? Did
yo-
we ask for suggestions?
Yo, get over here and help me build this shit. I'm tired of this fucking buffoon. I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Dinosaur.
Yeah, we're sorry. We didn't mean it.
No, I know. I'm just playing along.
Hey, fuck you.
I play along with Kevin's arguments all the time.
Fuck me. I was just saying I wasn't joking to soften the blow. Maybe I wasn't joking, you son of a bitch.
That's fine. I'll just start popping some popcorn on the other side of your door.
You don't have the fucking guts.
You're right. Not today. My guts are in disarray. You are correct. That is why I've not been on Steam and everything much today.
Somebody's got the poopies.
52 high quality cloth just sitting there. Glorious.
Glorious. I'm gonna go buy
How
what
much
I got
you got?
15. I need 25, I think, right?
I have
Yeah.
28 leather right there. Nice.
I need 25 leathers. Fuck you. I'm gonna fucking stick you up for your leather.
Dude, just get a serpent. They just drop it.
Hey, run your pockets, motherfucker. Give me that leather.
I mean, I don't have it in my pockets, so...
Run your pockets! I teleported the wrong place, didn't I?
4 soul spheres, an exotic sphere, 28 megaspheres, 4 regular spheres, and 62,000 gold. That's what I got on me.
I'll take all of it. You know what? I'll take those shoes while you're at it.
Oh no, I'm mysteriously no longer where I was. Also, what was that option I had on the map? Oh, I know what that option is. Alright, now that everything is asleep up here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to buy leather from you. Thank you.
Yo, Jade.
Welcome to the show.
Jade is indeed here.
I can't hear shit then.
She can't hear shit though, she says.
Three more soul spheres and a gold key. And 2 large
I don't think
capsules.
they can hear me. Yeah, I'm not
What?
looking at them.
Oh yeah, fucker.
What?
Oh shit. Wistella. I don't know who that is.
It's the way it tears off. Oh,
Oh, there's the bunny.
what was I thinking? I said I needed 25 and I only got 15. This is a catastrophe.
Oh, what? I can't kill this bitch. Or capture him.
Who are you trying to capture?
It's a rampage in level 65 Starion.
Can't catch rampaging.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Damn it.
There was something good they dropped though. Like there was
Yeah,
a reason
Predator,
to farm
Predator
them.
Core.
Hmm?
The Predator Core.
High grade medical.
Alright. Now to build what I was trying to build. And I'd like to fucking work to get a new weapon too. There's a weapon that I'm really trying to fucking get. I swear. Where is this fucking thing? Huh? Huh? There it is. Oh. Oh, the horror. Come on. I need a builder over here. Puzzle, are you in the base?
No, I'm somewhere. I'm coming back though.
Where are you and why?
I was at the floating island, and then I jumped off, and then I was at the hot island with the red grass.
I see.
Honey, I'm home.
Come here and help me build this.
Oh, I need to get some food first.
Starve.
Hey, what do you want me to do? What are you?
I'm on the conveyor belt.
I've got one of these.
Leaf monk.
Progress. Oh, you're kidding me.
What? We try though.
Wait. Oh yeah, that's right. I retired him, so I'll put that there now. Yeah, we good. We good, bruh. We good. I am now a speedy worker. Alright. So here's what I want to build. And I need to get the supplies for it. Oh, okay. I need 15 carbon fiber. I almost got the palmetto ingots we need. I need fucking, what, 12 more palmetto ingots. Think we can get those done quickly. Okay, that's cool there. 12. Oh, what are we missing? We literally need one more palladium fragment. Okay.
I'm getting them right now.
I need to wash the little bits off my piece.
Okay. Okay.
You have a bone pipe when you get there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get everything set up that I want to. I need 15 of this. I'm just gonna make sure I don't fucking misread it with that. I need 12 of that. And how much plasteel did I need? $60. Woohoo, doggy. Ooh, doggy.
Heavy assault rifle schematic.
Okay, that's what I gotta do. And now see, I gotta go to our research laboratory, extract our oil. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Yes, yes. Oil. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Espresso schematic. Revenue.
Oh. Yeah, we only need... that much. There we go. Now, I just need to wait for all the ingredients to cook, smelt, all that stuff.
What are you trying to make?
A grenade launcher.
Alright, well, I put some stuff in the chest, like plasteel and stuff like that.
Oh, beautiful. Oh shit, so I just need the fucking... Oh, okay. Why the fuck do you have so much plasteel?
I took out the furnace and just stuck it in the chest.
There was that much in the fucking furnace?
Yeah.
Alright.
I was gonna make some spheres with it. That's alright.
Oh, yes, of course.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's... I needed 15 of that, or 30 of it, or something like that.
And... I can make that, hold on.
What?
I can make the carbon fiber.
It's already cooking. Should be already, at least.
Oh, did you get it?
No, so what do I need here to make this? And what type of ammo does this make? Grenade ammo. There it is, right? So, okay. Alright. Okay, I just need... Oh, wow, I'm really close to being able to get it. And then I just need to focus. Wait, where'd the carbon fiber go? I had 30 coming out of here.
I never touched the ones over here.
fuck? Well, I guess
What'd you make
fucking-
after the carbon fiber?
Nothing.
Do you have it set for the pals to put it in a box?
It still would have popped up for me to be able to build with it.
That's true.
Yeah,
Unless
I
they
did,
dropped it on the ground and ran to
I
get
started
food.
making some on the conveyor belt. I don't know if that messed anything up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any dropped carbon fiber around on the ground. That's weird. I just need 3 more fucking charcoal. Come on, finish this up, buddy. 1. And then I'm gonna fucking heavy focus on my grenade ammo.
Okay, we just need 4 power metal ingots. And then you can make your grenade launcher.
Oh, I just need. Wait, what? Hold on. What did it just say there?
You need 4 power metal ingots.
Bro, I'm dumb as a box of rocks. I was getting charcoal and thinking it was fucking carbon fiber.
There we go.
That was the issue.
Yeah.
It's late at night.
Can you believe that, dinosaur?
Hey, I can. I absolutely can.
Can you believe that fucking malarkey? I know I can't. Alright, how we make this grenade launcher?
Give me 2 seconds.
What is that? Umbral Surge. My pal does not know that nowadays.
Oh. There it is. And we can exchange this with... Where's it at? I know I just made it. There it is. Did you take a shower?
No. My hair's still wet because I have it up.
I got you, I got you. Alright. Can you go and grab me a shit ton of fiber?
Of course I can.
I appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you.
I guess I'm gonna learn how to play with the keyboard.
Why?
The controller's up there and I just sat down and not going back.
I'll grab it real quick.
No, I wasn't gonna ask you because you're in the middle of Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So, where the fuck can I get sulfur from? I forget.
The volcano place.
Didn't even have to think about it. That was going to be my thought too. You can make a sulfur pit in your base.
Oh, why don't we just make that?
Because it's slow, unless you have a really fucking upgraded mining pal.
Yeah.
Why, hello, Ragnarok. Oh, I have 5 bullets came with the grenade launcher? That's lovely.
That is. Most games would not do that.
Listen, if anybody steps to me, bro, I'm a fucking... Kabow!
Kablam.
Yeah, I put a bunch of fiber in one of the chests.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm just looking for sulfur.
Paddles. Okay.
Is that regular fucking ore instead of sulfur? Nice.
Guys, let me in the goddamn container.
Yippee, sulfur.
Wahoo! Let me have tomatoes.
Is that also
Weird.
sulfur? It's sulfur colored, but not sulfur shaped. Is sulfur?
I'm pretty sure there's a place in the volcano place that has a bunch of sulfur things in it. I don't know if it's next to the tower.
Sitting there.
What?
What, Stampy? Bro, I'm just a guy who likes knowledge.
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 Fucking Lamborghini, dude.
Bro, literally.
I
What's going on, AJ?
have not been to the volcano yet. Interesting. Oh, I still have to defeat a little. Oh. I wonder. Another desolate charge. I'm way over leveled for this.
Mm-hmm. You missed the podcast earlier, AJ.
Yeah. Hmm? What?
Here, 300 cents a piece. That's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, Zoe, I give you that. I'd show you a fucking grisball if there's ever one when I went there.
That's funny as hell. You must have gone right after one of us snagged him.
Yes, and this happened multiple times.
It's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I've caught 5 of everybody that's on that island, except for
Rizbel.
Linares, which is a rare spot. But
The fuck?
yeet.
Yeah.
This is intriguing. Where is
Oh.
that taking me?
Hello, level 15 bounty. Get
You
one
find
shot.
ultimate spheres over here? Oh shit.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
I wish to teleport out of here at once. I have an idea how to get home.
Hey, look, one letter.
These things happen. Ah. That's the use of charcoal I now see. Alright. We're gonna need 430 charcoal stat. Put our best fucking schmelter on it. Let's put put you on it. You're on the case. Alright. You're on this case over here. Come on. Fuck over, Yormantide. This right here. This is all you, baby. Not Yormantide. This is all you, baby. This is all you, baby.
Ooh, an artist thing on that one.
Brother. The fuck going? Do this shit. What did I ask you to?
Ooh, branched cherries. You're too high level for me to just whip ball
Do
it.
what the
Now,
fuck I asked you
yeah,
to,
like taking
Yormantide.
it down.
Thank you. That's all we needed. Thank you, Yormantide. Puzzled?
Yo.
But I have so many grenades, it's not even gonna be funny. But a grenade all over you.
Excuse me.
What?
Who
Fuck
said
said
that?
that?
Who said that?
Huh?
What?
What are you guys asking about?
A beam
Dunno.
sword? Excuse me?
Yes, there's a beam sword. I think there's also a plasma sword later down.
Zoom.
There's a blue sword and then a purple sword. The purple one's better.
You guys like my lightsaber impression? Alright, fuck all you.
One of my two of my favorite video
I
game
put myself out
things.
there for you guys, and you guys just alright.
I didn't hear you make any sound. I just heard, did you like my lightsaber sound? And I'm like, what? Probably one of my favorite video game things is when they did the tentacles caressing for
What?
the tentacle
Ooh.
caressing for Baldur's Gate 3. Because you can romance the squid dude. The guy who did the animation for that, or the rigging or whatever, I forget which one of them it was, but one of them that worked on it, he did research by stroking a Pringle can over and over again for hours to find like just the perfect way to represent it.
Alright. Knock one. Oh, I can read you one of those actually, but that is an
Hammer knows a lot of like the video game sound effects and how they're made.
Actually, do you want mine, baby?
Oh no, level 27 boss. Whatever will I do? And go level 46 boss. There, yeah. You missed. He wasn't moving and you missed.
I'm
You missed
carrying too much.
Carrying too much? What do you think this is? Elder Scrolls? Yeah. Another boss token. The below level 20 creatures I caught around here just pushes them to level 33 by killing that one boss. I love it.
I did the math perfectly. This is what it is. I need my Anubis for some fucking groundwork out here, brother.
Large incubator. But more importantly, a sniper module too.
Wrong, pal. Yep. E. Wait a second. I might be able to. Thank you, Jetragon. Trust has increased. What do I need for this? Fiber, gunpowder, pal metal ingots. Alright, alright. Alright. This is correct. This is correct. Alright.
Loopy.
Come on. There we go. What am I running out of here? Palladium, per usual. All good though. It's not something else. Yorm into oh. Wee. Alright. Everybody's sleeping. Hey, could actually hold on. Can everybody get to their bases and sleep in their bed so we can get to morning?
Hold on.
As soon as I get to this thing that I'm the teleporter thing, literally
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now as well.
under 50.
Just please and thank you. I
Just
appreciate
gotta
it.
climb a couple of things. go.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Fucking. Oh, Claymore's fucking big.
Okay.
My fuck don't give a fuck.
Where the fuck are you,
Somebody
Puzzled?
was
I'm trying to look for a fucking teleporter.
somebody was sleeping and then stopped.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for Puzzled. Come on, Puzzled.
I'll just leave. Hold on.
Just die. Just die
Yeah, you
and
can go to sleep now.
just die and respawn. Alright, go to sleep.
Hold on, minus signed.
Yep. Yep. There we go.
Hell, if you're hungry, go fucking eat. I know you
I
guys
need
have
those
plenty of
ingots
food.
done. What? What? The fuck is... What is she... What did she just do?
She liked it. She could do a lot of things actually, but she just doesn't have a high level in anything. She was next to that other guy. The one
Okay,
that
then.
beefed me.
Alrighty. Yeah, just a random fucking pal just igniting shit.
That's a human.
Or, well, yeah, whatever. Oh, I just realized, speaking of humans, did I capture that one and give it to Pal for his base? Yes, I believe I did. He's got all of his facility, managers, we'll call it. Yo, what the fuck you doing, Yormintide? Get the fuck back to work.
What level do you have to be to get the armor?
The, plasteel armor? 51. Yeah, what level are you?
47.
Okay. You're almost there.
I already have the helmet, so I gotta have it.
Oh, really?
Unless you made it for me, I don't know.
I might have made it for you.
Are there non-grass
Oh, here.
stones in here?
Let me find my knuckle.
Ah, you guys aren't grass. That's right.
Fuck. Oh, here he is. Oh, holy
You can just
shit, his fucking
do
traits
this
are
shit.
nuts. Hell yeah. Have fun with them. I forgot that was one of the fuckers that I, just remember, like, if I ever end up needing to breed with him, let me breed with him, because I remember I fucking bred his traits, to be fucking, like, some straight fucking, like, literally look at his traits. He's not a legendary, but he's got the legend trait. Brother's fucking nutty.
Yeah, there's a chance of that.
No, I bred it to make it that.
I think there's a natural chance of that too. Just very small.
Oh, yeah,
But I couldn't-
fucking dick. Let's get the shit
I
away.
just have one dick toys here.
I've got any extras. Nothing to go and catch one if I don't. Oh, yeah, I've still got fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
Take out. Honestly, we don't need the memory since it's a slacker anyway.
There you go. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure that that was the best trait that I had in them. Nah, he's kind of got some shit traits. Let me see if I've got a better one. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Come on. Let me get the palmetto ingots. I just want to get my grenades for the grenade launcher.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, man. I'm tired.
Oh yeah? You don't want to see this fucking grenade launcher in action?
No, I'll watch the stream quickly.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you see how much quicker we're getting stoned now?
Yeah. Good night, you fucking rapscallion.
Fucking watch who you're talking to.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Won't let me and my dad bunk with you.
I like your dad bunk with me, but not you.
Oh Hey, fuck you.
Hey, see you later.
Can't believe that guy. Why is... Brother... Are you okay? Yeah. Nah, the fucking Yormitite Ignis was just kinda like... Not Yormitite Ignisin. Now it is. Now it is indeed. You are the last piece to my grenades for my grenade launcher. Please finish this up quickly.
I need fucking coal.
4 more. What?
Coal.
Brother. Where the fuck are you going?
I need hardwood.
Bro.
To the desert.
You son of a bitch. Finish up your last 2 ingots.
Si, senor.
There we go. There we fucking go. But it's the fiber. I need more fiber. I need more fucking fiber. What time's dinner gonna be done?
Anything.
Okay. I think when it's done, might be a good time to end stream, and we can go and watch more of our show. Yeah. I'd love to play longer, but I'm fucking getting real hot and stuffy in this fucking room.
It's not any better out there. I mean, the kids walk outside. It's really nice out there right now. It's better in all again.
Okay.
What?
See, a game that my dad would play that he would enjoy would be things like anything like top down with an interesting story, or like like Baldur's Gate he would like, Diablo he would like. There's
Divinity.
I think you would like Divinity, yeah. Low key, I think I can convince him to play Civilization. I think he'd have fun on that. Once my dad understood the mechanics of Civilization, though, I feel like he'd be a fucking brutal opponent.
And then you have my friends.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. My dad doesn't have the time to get into games like that, so he'd never be on a level of fucking, like, Jack or fucking DeWalt. But,
No.
I mean...
They're the type of people that Spiff looks at and goes, you have too much time on your hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're doing their own thing, though. I mean, you know, if they're... My dad would even look at them and be like, you know, more power to you if that's what you want to do. Because, I mean, they've got their lives together and everything. There's no problem with them playing video games as much as they do.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just not my dad would rather do other things. Like, he used to be a gamer when he was younger. It's not that he's not, but to him, it's just like having 2 kids still in the house and him building a business and, like... Hell, he's got a PlayStation 5. He plays Madden football every now and again. It's not like he doesn't play games, but, you know.
Yeah, just more casual about it.
Yeah. Like, he'll go month-long stretches without playing Madden.
Just like real football.
Yeah, low-key, it does seem like when he kind of gets into it, like when the stretch of, if I can recall correctly, like as football is, like the draft season's coming and football's getting starting, he'll play a couple games around that time just because of the hype. Understandably, though. And there we go. We finally... What's running out there? Dang, still the fiber. I would have expected the fucking palladium ingots to fucking be the thing that's...
Up in these trees. Interesting.
Yeah.
And my pets. And my pal's attack just disappeared into nothingness. Cool.
I'm going to craft some potential armor or something with some of this leftover shit. Didn't realize. That's fucking wild.
Put it this way, I'll just keep going this way. Yeah. Don't aggro on them, bird. They'll be sorry. Ooh! There's a shiny, Bushi out here.
Oh, yeah?
Level 1. You might not get one shot. Oh, yeah. Not at all. Ow, you dick. Oh, master. Runs faster. Obey your master.
And done. Okay. Alright. Now we've got firepower.
I used the pizza mix that Karen gave us for the chicken and things. It's
Okay.
not bad. I would rather use this because
Gotcha.
we just didn't have any extra.
So, all we need is 40 palladium fragments, and I can make both of us, well, actually, how much better is it than what we currently got on this question? Oh, never mind.
There's a gold key. Wow, in the desert.
Baby. Look at this. We got 5 ammo in the chamber, and then I've got fucking 370 to shoot. It's a fucking grenade launcher. I am ready. Ready for war, that is.
Oh, there's an negotiator.
What the fuck's going on right here?
They're trying to figure shit.
I'll most definitely take those souls, thank you.
Ew.
Little kinship.
What?
The fuck?
What?
Why wouldn't you? Never mind.
I don't know what it does.
Alright, which one of you guys do I like the most?
What's
Obviously.
It do? What does it mean?
It improves your friendship with Pal. Are you sure you don't want it?
I mean, I had like a lot more that I already used. I
Oh.
didn't know what they meant. I was just clicking on random pals. So
Do it on your favorite Pal. Until that maxes out, and then you kind of just have a full party of maxed out, you know. But I'm trying to think who.
Do you have a Lunar in your party?
Maybe? I don't know.
Lunaris?
Said, maybe,
'Cause
I don't fucking
I-
know.
In your party.
No.
The one you carry around. You might want to. It gives you 300 carry weight in your Pal balls. Hold.
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't no bitch.
do you have this?
Also, she's got really good crafting skills.
Oh, yeah. I've actually made one. Me and Lucky both made one. What's the recipe for it? We can, get that real quick, huh?
I use 40 high quality.
The undershirt, I think you guys were low on polymer.
20 claymore gets I could probably go and buy. The high quality high quality cloth.
I think you can buy one.
Yeah.
Gave you a ton of that.
So we've got all
Should
the
be
wool
good.
we need for how much of the cloth did you need, you said?
Like 40.
Oh. Alright, so we need 400 wool then.
Yes.
It's not a lot.
That's why I like the fact there's just the
There we
one
go.
that produces it in the farm.
Hi.
Hi.
We're gonna be getting off soon, good sir, but hello.
Hi.
Where's that shiny?
So Calvin, I've created and crafted a grenade launcher with 370 ammo.
What the fuck? Okay.
Just
Oh, and now I'm going to test it.
There's some living grenades over here by me.
These motherfuckers there, bro.
I'm just saying, what better way to test a grenade than against one that's alive?
Makes this sick ass grenade launcher noise. Look. Boom.
Huh.
Yep.
Fucking thumper, hell yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Well, Beacon, you got too close to the explosive barrage.
Holy shit.
By the way, that's the sound of a mortar, not a grenade launcher.
Bro, certain grenade launchers like the China Lake and Black Ops, it made the bump noise. Chill.
No, I know they do, but that is what a mortar actually sounds like.
You named him
Never heard
Caleb?
a grenade launcher.
Dylan.
What?
The dude's name is Caleb?
Who?
Your Nocklin?
Oh, I gave it a Jade.
You named it Caleb?
Like my vibe!
Guess that shine's just gone. That sucks.
I need to upgrade my freaking stuff. So what level are you?
I'm 57.
Oh, so we're the same level. Okay.
Yeah. See, I've been trying really hard because, bro, Jade's behind us a little bit. Like, I've been trying really hard to stay at this level and not level up much.
I see. What the fuck was that?
That's what you're making mole rat.
Ooh, I can use my points to get this. Hold up. PAL disassembly conveyor and PAL pod. Hell yeah. Whoa.
The grenade
Advanced
launcher, I won't
bow.
lie, it is a bit underwhelming, but it still does a hell of a lot more damage than anything else we've had. And the ammo is not expensive at all to make in the grand scheme of things. So it's like you can literally have thousands of this ammo and just fucking do that much damage.
Oh my. I actually kind of want to... That bow is fucking wild. How expensive are the arrows to make? Ooh. I mean, they're both expensive and not expensive, in my opinion. And plasteel is definitely going to be a fucking not so fun thing to get for that, but... For how much fucking damage?
I've actually got 233 plasteel smelting over here.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of making an advanced bow.
Yeah, bro. Over at the oil shit's going on pretty good now. I had gone over and was able to grab 400 oil and bring it over to this base to start making plasteel.
I love you.
Guild chest.
I know, right? A guild chest would just be so fucking convenient for resources like
Yeah,
that.
we have them.
Do we have one of those going yet, Dylan?
I haven't really cared to fucking build one. Sitting there.
'Cause, I mean, I can get some of those set up. Because, like, I feel like it'd be
You
useful.
can
for
literally
one of the-
just have a pail that transfers all the oil into the pail box
We've had
or into the guild chest.
we've had,
and you can just have it at base.
bro. We're the level to get the homing sphere launcher now. Alright, let's just start creating thousands of pal spheres, regular pal spheres. I'm good.
Oh my.
Fuck that. We're not doing that cheesy tactic.
God.
Such a cheesy tactic, bro.
It is. I've seen that shit. Fucking brutal.
It's funny watching the videos, but like I would feel so fucking disgraceful doing that in a stream.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking the method where you get the fucking PAL launcher and you just shoot fucking thousands of the fucking regular PAL spheres at a PAL at 0.2% and eventually just catch them regardless.
Yeah.
Such a cheesy way to fucking catch PALs.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, like I get earlier in the game with the soul sphere situation, that was a bit cheesy, but it's not, I mean, I threw one sphere with a decent chance, and I only had 4 of them. You know what I mean? There was a lot more likely, and I don't believe any of them were ever above 50%, except for when you and I took on fucking Frost Stallion. But even then, we fucking broke its health down all the way to that point, and then I feel like that was a bit earned. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, you know what, Jetragon, bro. I think that is the one. I mean, yeah, Jetragon though is the fucking. I was gonna say Frostallion is on the end of like totally understandable because we at least beat his ass down to before I even threw that sphere, right? Jetragon,
Yeah.
bro, sitting there. Let's see. Fucking caught
I
his
wonder if I
ass,
can catch this guy with this fucking whee!
bro. Like
What
because,
percentage was it when it just boosted to 100?
bro, 5%. I caught Jetragon with a 5%.
God,
Are we not making
this is
Venom?
brutal.
Huh.
How much
Like,
is it
bro,
killing
Not
shit?
making
I
Venom.
saw us preparing for battle. I didn't even fucking get to really. Just fucking. Alright, throw the sphere, see if it works. Okay.
Gosh.
Alright.
I forget what the quick transfer thing is. That one. Oh, I see. I was working on something before I got off last time. I was trying to build something out of computers and shit. What was I? Plasma multi-cutter. Now I remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's definitely something that would be. Oh, computers really aren't too fucking hard to make.
They just take a
I am
little bit.
short one hardwood.
It just takes a
really.
million and one resources, don't get me wrong, but like. You mind making 20 of them bitches? Because I know how much that thing takes. It takes 10 computers. I don't mind if you, like, because it seems like we might end up having enough resources for a lot of that shit around the base. So if you wouldn't mind making 20 computers since you're making 10, I'll gather the other resources I need.
We need more circuit boards,
Carbon fiber.
bio batteries. Oh, how many bio batteries do we need now? Because I have the 10 for mine. Let's see, 10 more for. Okay, we need 20 bio batteries. Let me get those going first.
I'm getting.
We actually.
I'm
don't
getting
have that.
reports that the din din is done, and that means it is time to say goodbye.
Okay. We need more flame organs for the carbon fiber.
I just finished what I'm doing.
All right, you want to put this
So I
in?
know
You
what I
put
was
this in a
doing.
notes or something like that, and like send it or like something. Or we always get flooded in our DMs because of how much we talk. Send it because of how little we talk in the general here, like not general, but like Power World
I can
general.
put my testing server.
Or yeah, just do that. Well, I just wanted to make somewhere that we would remember, but put the things that we need
Yeah.
to do and what resources we need and all that.
Give me a goddamn piece of wood, you stupid
Alright, then.
tree.
Anyways, everybody, thank you for tuning in to the amazing, awesome podcast, and thank you. No, he's not here anymore. But thank you, my dad, for giving us his time to talk really in depthly about the history of the Masons and debunk some of the theories, talk about a lot of that stuff. Regardless, it was fun. And then coming along the power a little bit here to what's the word I'm looking for? Decompress after all that. But our AC's broken. It's hot as fuck in this room. That's why you can see that I'm sweating. We're getting it fixed tomorrow, but go and eat dinner and getting the fuck out of this room. Have a good morning, good night, good afternoon. Peace out, everyone.